If I swore to you that the eyeliner was intentional, would you believe me? Well, too late now. Hello! Welcome back to the channel, friends. This week, I don't know how this is gonna look. Ooh, maybe we'll zoom in a little bit. We are talking about Stranger Things. Obviously. I don't usually talk about media on the channel, actually, unless it's like a end of the year kind of thing. I do a lot of doll stuff. I do a lot of date everything stuff. I guess that's media. But I mean, like movies and TV. I don't really make movie and TV content, so this is new. Anyway, Stranger Things is a Netflix original. It started in the year 2016. I was a junior in high school at the time. Since then, I graduated high school. I did 4 years of college. I graduated college. It's been 3 more years since then, and this show is still not over. We are waiting on season 5 currently, which will be out in November and December of this year, which I'm pissed about, but that's a whole separate thing. I thought it would be a nice October-November release, and I'd be able to watch it with my friends, and instead they were like, nope, we're releasing it on 3 holidays that you happen to celebrate, and all your friends happen to celebrate, so I can't have my friends up to watch the show. Can't watch it with my friends, so here are my predictions, and I'd like to get them locked in. Today is September 6th when I'm filming this. Might be up next week, might be up months from now, who knows. I got a lot of stuff coming up at the end of September, beginning of October. I don't know when you're going to see this, but it'll be before the show comes out, okay? And I am something of a witch. I don't think any of these are going to be right, but I thought I could lock in my predictions for season 5. This is how I think Stranger Things, the global phenomena, will end. And I thought the best way to present this information to you would be a bingo card! So fun! So I have made a bingo card of my predictions for the show. We're gonna go row by row. I wasn't gonna use a pointer, but I think I have to. So this is my fairy wand. It's from Disney's Wish, right? This is merch for Disney's Wish, a movie that notably everyone loves. I got it for $5 at Walmart around Halloween time, and it's very versatile. You know, I use this in a lot of my stuff. I use this in the Pookie of the Year presentation. I use this in my story video, story structure. Yep, and it comes in handy. So, yes, without further ado, we have row 1. I don't know how the text is going to come across on the screen. My monitor is super, super tiny, but my face is in focus now, which is good. That's good. We love to see that. Okay, so row 1. This is the row that I feel the most confident about. I think this is maybe how I get my bingo. I want to say not all the things on the card are things I want to happen. These are just things that I think might happen based on the Duffers' writing style, where the story has been going thus far, and things they have said about the making of the show. And I will try to find all my sources before I post this. Row 1. Steve dies. Like I said, not something I want to happen. Look at my row of Steves here, right? Okay, obviously, I do love Steve. I would not like for him to die, but I think this is, something that will probably happen. Similar, Steve aura farming, okay? He does it in a lot of the seasons. He does it I would say in season 1 it's not on purpose. It's just like he has a nail bat and it just kind of happens. But in season 4, when he's injured and takes off his shirt and, be so serious, okay? So fan service, aura farming, we have that there. Next we have Stancy. Again, something I don't necessarily want to happen. I don't really care about the shipping in this show anymore. It's been going on so long, I just want it to end, okay? I don't really care who ends up with who. That's kind of where I'm at. I think it would be kind of going back on his arc a bunch to have him just end up back with Nancy. I don't even know what that says about Jonathan, but the writers didn't really care about Jonathan last season, at all, so I would not be surprised if this happened. Season 5 is probably going to be a return to form. It's probably going to be a lot of nostalgia bait because, like I said, this came out when I was a junior in high school, which was almost 10 years ago. We don't have to talk about that. But Stancy feels like a return to season 1 norm, which I would imagine they are going for this season. Next we have time skip. This is all but confirmed. We have seen characters like filming in 90s style clothing. I would assume with the age of the younger cast of characters, this is just something that has to happen to make it make any sense. Adults get cast as teenagers all the time, so it's really not a big deal. But I think there's going to be a time skip to the 90s because that has leaked, so that's pretty much confirmed. And then we have time travel, which this is the crux of my bingo card, okay? This is the crux of the title of this video. I have a big theory about the way that season 5 is going to unravel, and we're going to get into it. It comes from time travel, okay? Maybe we'll get into this now before I flip to the next slide. But the Duffers said in the production of season 4 that they had to establish that the Upside Down was stuck in 1983, the day that Will disappeared.
The last entry is November 6, 1983, the day Will went missing.
They said that they had to do that for stuff coming in season 5. They said it wasn't relevant in season 4, but they had to establish it for season 5, which leads me to believe that the Upside Down will be used for some time travel in season 4 that maybe takes them back to 1983. So we're gonna lay this egg here. We're going to come back to it. It's kind of the thing that's tying this whole board together. So we will get there. We have our second row. Okay? New D&D code name. This is the way that they name their monsters in the show. We have the Demogorgon. That's a D&D creature. We have Vecna. That's a name from D&D. We have the Mind Flayer. That's a D&D monster. They name a lot of their big sci-fi monsters after D&D monsters because the boys play D&D and that's how they process that information. I think we'll get a new one this season. Very surface level prediction. Too many new characters. This is something I definitely think will happen because it happens every season where we get way too many characters, we don't kill any of them off, and then we're carrying like 4 new people into the next season. We didn't need a guy to be added to the storyline from the Russia thing. You know, who else did we have? We have Argyle. I don't think he's coming back in season 4, which is so sad. I have a Funko Pop with him as well because I love Argyle. He's not coming back. That's very sad. But I feel like based on the trailer that I've seen, you know, the teaser information that they've released, it does seem like there is a crop of new kids. And it's like, okay, we already have a lot of characters that we're juggling because you refuse to kill anyone off, except Eddie, R.I.P. I feel like there's going to be too many new characters coming on season 5, and it's going to be like, this is the end of the show. Why are we bringing 6 new people into this mess? We have Christmas/Christmas lights. This is because of the Christmas lights in season 1, but also because one of the release days of the 3 chunks of the show is Christmas. So I feel like both of these things could lead to us seeing some Christmas lights. That aesthetic coming back. If I had thought of this better, I would have Christmas lights here, but I didn't. So, next we have 11 sacrifices herself. This is something, again, I don't want it to happen. I think it would be really horrible based on everything she's been through, but I fear that that may be where we are headed. It would bring everything to a head. That does tie into the time travel thing. I will get there. Next, again, something I don't want to happen. I do love Joyce, but I have Joyce dies because we've already lost Hopper. Like, that's already a death fake out that we've had. I feel like Joyce would be something that people wouldn't necessarily see coming, and it would be a gut punch because the kids depend on her so much, and she's one of the only adults that they have with them, like, working through all the monster stuff. She's one of the only, like, grown people that has been helping them, and she's 2 of their mother and 1 of their adoptive mothers. And so I feel like it would really, really hurt a lot if Joyce died, and I love her and I don't want her to die, but I foresee it as a possibility. 3rd row. Our free space here is the theme song. I think it has to happen, which is why it's in the middle. It's a free space on a bingo card. We're gonna hear the theme song, alright? Over here, season 1 flashback. I think this will be maybe not only old footage from season 1, but I feel it will be like a season 4 thing where we had the flashback new information of 11 at the laboratory when she's little, and so you have Millie being like de-aged with CGI. I feel like maybe we'll get some more of that this season. And the next one, everybody dies. Okay? So this, I think, ties into the time travel thing. And you're gonna hear that a lot in this video. I think this and this and this tie in with this as well. 11 erases everything.
There is no Pepe Sylvia. The man does not exist, okay?
And this is the crux of my theory, that it will get really bad, okay? The fight will get really, really bad. We'll start losing people slowly at first. We'll lose a couple big players. Maybe we'll lose Steve. Maybe we'll lose Joyce. Maybe we'll lose someone else in the group, and you're like, oh God. But it's like, you have to keep going. So they keep going. They continue their fight, like through the Upside Down or whatever, if they're like going into like burn it all out. I don't know where this leaves us. But we're losing characters slowly. Then we start losing characters quickly. We start losing a lot of characters. It gets to like a point of no return where we're like, how do they possibly turn this around? And like, what is the point of doing so? Because like everyone is dead now, except for maybe, I'm gonna say Mike, Dustin, and 11. Okay, so we're down to like the nitty gritty. I don't know where Will is at this point. Maybe Mike is going to die. Maybe Dustin does die, okay? I think he's on the next line. Spoilers for the rest of this video. Dustin dies, right? Then we have Mike and 11. And 11 is, like, seeing this opportunity in her mind to, like, tear a wormhole through the Upside Down to go back in time to stop all of this from happening. And Mike is like, no, you don't know what that'll do to you. You don't know if it'll kill you or what. You can't do that, Elle. Like, we need you. And that's the choice that she makes, is to sacrifice herself to erase everyone dying. So it would be like a Twilight, Breaking Dawn flashback where, like, you know, Carlisle dies and you're like, what? What? We start having really big casualties and you're like, how do they possibly get out of this? And the only answer is either one, it was a dream in Twilight's case, or two, we have to go back and undo that. Like, we can't lose everybody. I think that's going to happen. So you get the gut punch of watching all your favorite characters die, but then it doesn't actually hold that weight and they are still alive because you go back and you undo it. Okay? That's my theory for the end of the show. That's the big theory, is that everyone will die. And then some time travel will be done using the wormhole that's set in 1983. I think because of that, we will have like a flash forward epilogue where it will show the kid characters like as either like young adults or like maybe adults. Who's to say? Definitely like past teenage, I would think, like out of high school. And we see them like living their happy, normal lives. Probably during Christmas time, I would think, because it's going to end like on New Year's, and we're all still going to have Christmas in our minds, and Christmas has been a thing in the show as well. I think that, yeah, we're going to have a flash forward epilogue, and we're going to see 11, like, if she's still alive, we will see her, like, very sadly looking through the window, because going back and changing everything means that she never met the boys, so, like, maybe she saves Will from being kidnapped and the Upside Down from ever opening, but that means that she never meets them. Or maybe she dies. I think there's two ways to play it. Either like a bittersweet or like a very sad. And that's, yeah, that's how I foresee that. We have the next row. As I said, Dustin dies. I feel like this is a very easy gut punch for them to throw at us because everyone loves Dustin. He's my favorite of the kid characters. He's the best one, I fear. Love you, Dustin. What a sweet boy. But yeah, this would be like the biggest heartbreak. And so I think it will be like a fake out, like, oh, Steve is like gearing up to like sacrifice himself and Dustin takes the hit because he doesn't want to lose another brother figure like Eddie. I think that's how that goes down. Okay, so then we have Max recovers. I'm holding out for our girl. Like, even if she loses her eyesight and stuff, I would still like to see her be a character in the show. She is still alive. I would like to see her continue to do so. So this is like the one happy prediction on this board, is just that Max recovers in some meaning of the word, that she is somewhat okay. Alright. We have, maybe not a full recovery, like she did get very f***ed up, but at least a little bit. We have Vampire Eddie. I don't think this is gonna happen, actually. Joseph Quinn has been booked and busy since season 4 happened. I just talked with my friend Jamie about this. I don't foresee this happening. I think if they had filmed it quicker after season 4, I think this would have been a bigger possibility. Do I still want this to happen? Yes. This is the one where I'm like a little bit subjective and I'm like, yeah, that'd be really cool, but I'm not getting my hopes up. I don't actually think this will happen. Crazy needle drops. I feel like that's kind of also a free space, where they just have like crazy songs being dropped in, like Running Up That Hill or Master of Puppets, Metallica. Some crazy needle drop will happen, and that will be the song of the end of this year, going into the next year, because that's just what happens. Like, I don't think I had ever heard Running Up That Hill before it was in the show, and then it was everywhere. So I think we're gonna have one of those. We covered Dustin's untimely demise. Okay. Back to the Future reference. This ties back actually to season 3 when Steve and Robin are high at the movie theater. That's the movie that's playing. And so I feel like that also ties very nicely into the time travel theory because it was foreshadowing perhaps in a way. It just proves that time travel was on the Duffers' minds when they were making at least that part of the show. So I feel like maybe we could get another Back to the Future reference, especially if they're very like forward about the time travel that's happening and it's not like a secret thing. If any of the kid characters know that time travel is a possibility, we're gonna hear about this movie. If any of the teenagers hear, I mean, are they teenagers anymore? Anyway, if any of the slightly older characters, like the Steve age characters, hear that time travel is a possibility, we're gonna hear about Back to the Future. Finally, we have the last row, okay? All the dead characters cameo. I think personally this could be like a Vecna raising an army of the undead, specifically the characters that died because of the Upside Down. So it wouldn't be that, what is the Russian guy in season 3? Alexei? I think that's his name. Wouldn't be him, because he was just like shot, R.I.P., very sad. But like Bob from season 2, Eddie, Billy. This would be where all of them come back, perhaps, and they're used as like puppets of Vecna. Ties into the Master of Puppets theme. Yeah, they would show up and be like, join us, like it's so much better. I don't know if they'd say join us, but like,
join us and die. Charlotte, join us and die.
It would be used as emotional manipulation, basically, on the characters that are still alive. As like a last-ditch effort. Maybe they'd look creepy and undead. Maybe they'd look kind of alive, actually. Then we have an Eddie cameo. If he does appear at all, I think it will be very small. It will be like how they said, oh yeah, Billy's in season 4, and it was like one scene of him in like a nightmare flashback kind of thing, which is fine. I don't like Billy, by the way. Nothing against Dacre Montgomery. I hate Billy Hargrove. Always have, always will. Never was a fangirl of his. Never fell for that propaganda. But if we do see any of the dead characters, if we see Eddie, it'll be short. I think it'll be very short. Next, Will has powers. This is something someone on TikTok pointed out. Just based on the way that certain things are cut together in the teaser footage that we have, maybe Will has some powers, and I think that makes a lot of sense because of he's the first one that got taken. It would be a very full circle thing for him to also have the powers that 11 has because they've set them up as siblings, so then they could have like parallel journeys. They're both very close to Mike, so I feel like there's a lot of pieces here that make it very interesting if Will has powers. Next we have Will dies. If this boy has powers, he's cooked. I think everyone's cooked anyway, obviously, but if Will has powers, he's like super cooked. So we're putting those in the same row, because if one happens, I think we're going to get the other. And then, finally, Upside Down Wormhole, which is what I introduced to you with this point. And so this is kind of my time travel row with Joyce's death thrown in there also. You know, keep it interesting. And then this is I think this is probably my easiest path to a bingo. I don't think we're going to get a full flush here, but I think, you know, some of these things are fairly likely. These are my thoughts on Stranger Things as a writer, as a fan of the show. Not a writer of the show, just a writer separately. I write other things that are not Stranger Things, obviously. But yes, as an outsider looking in, as someone who has no idea what this show is going to be, this is my prediction for season 5 that I would like to lock in now in September. So, Yes. Do you have any thoughts on Stranger Things Season 5? Is there anything that you think will happen that I didn't list here? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely rest of your day. And as always, take your meds, drink your water, and I will see ya when I see ya.